Hi everybody, I'm off now to go and speak with Rita O'Loughlin, who is the coordinator for the Befriend Hub here in Fermanagh. The over 70s have been one of the groups that have been very vulnerable during this time of COVID-19, and I want to go along and talk to her and see how they have adapted their service in order to meet the needs of their clients at this time.
So in Fermanagh, the Befriend Hub provides a service to older people throughout the whole of Fermanagh, so that we cover all of the county, and we provide two types of befriending. One is home visit befriending and one is phone line befriending. So phone line befriending is basically where you're phoning in with older people, you're checking in with them to make sure they're safe and well, but it's also really about connection, providing a connection to people and giving them an opportunity to talk to somebody on the other end of the phone. For a lot of older people, they may be living on their own and they may not have a lot of interaction. Some do. Everybody's circumstances differ. So it really depends. You might be the only voice that somebody might hear in a day. COVID-19 has had a massive impact on our client group. I mean, the older people are the people who are shielding. You know, by and large, the majority of older people have shielding letters. I know people in other age groups also have shielding letters, but the majority of our clients were advised to shield. So for them, it's been really, really tough. That said, I will always say that our older people are extremely resilient. And they have done it and they know that they had to do it. So often people will say to us, look, we have no choice. This is what we have to do. And they've been extremely compliant because they know that they're vulnerable. And at the moment, the status at the moment is many of our older people do not want to go back out. They feel scared, and their biggest fear at the moment, the majority, not all, but the majority, their biggest fear is a second wave. So if they start to go back out now, and we don't know what's coming down the line, it makes them extremely vulnerable to that. And there's a lot of fear, a lot of fear. So in terms of, how we've adapted our service to that, we obviously had to pull out all our home visit volunteers, so that was no longer possible to do that. But those home visit volunteers are now phoning their person, so they're keeping their connection going. I mean, we had so many beautifully established relationships, and we really wanted to keep that going. That works for some people, but not for everybody. So if an older person maybe has a cognitive impairment, that's not going to work so well for them. But for those that it does, those relationships have been maintained. I mean, for me, one of the really important things is we always believed in the phone line service. We've been delivering this for years across our 3 hubs, for years and years, and we could always see the benefit of phone line befriending. So this whole situation has really pushed that forward into, say, the public domain. I mean, a lot of organisations that pre-COVID-19 were doing face-to-face work suddenly couldn't, so now they've set up phone line services. So I really think the value of phone line befriending, it really has to be highlighted, and the benefit of it to the client is immense, and it is going to be the way forward until we know that it's safe for our older people to have any other kind of contact. The lovely thing about our services is we can walk with people on that journey when they're having the days where they're down or the days that they're feeling particularly lonely. And we've had some lovely wee initiatives that we took on, the Befriend Hub took on. We sent out activity packs to all of our client people. They were delivered in partnership with the PSNI here in Fermanagh, so that we have a working partnership with the PSNI around safety, making sure that vulnerable older people are kept safe, raising awareness about scams, that kind of thing. So the PSNI offered to step in and help us out here in Fermanagh, and that had a number of really positive impacts. People were really happy to know that they were being checked in on, and they didn't feel quite so vulnerable, and they had some lovely conversations with the officers delivering the packs, and that created, I think, a sense of safety all round, so that was really positive. We also link in with Fermanagh and Omagh District Council, so they were sending out food hampers to people who were shielding, and we would have been able to refer into that system. The community response in Fermanagh has been phenomenal. I mean, it really has. Even for us, the number of people who contacted us who would like to volunteer, initially, you know, that was immense. The likes of Fermanagh Community Transport, who were out delivering the food packages, and they stepped into that role so quickly. I mean, we all had, it really literally felt like it was overnight. One way you were working in a certain, one week you were working in a certain way, and the next week everything was flipped. We all had to set up offices at home, which for some people is not ideal. Especially maybe those with younger children, you know, situations like that. But the community response, like for example, Lakeland Community Care here in Belcoo, who coordinate many of the day centres in Fermanagh, they have recently obtained funding to deliver meals to the older people who were part of their day centres and further afield. I mean, they took on many new people. So a lot of our clients are currently getting a meal delivered once a week. And that's been lovely. That's been really nice. So things like that, I mean, have been incredible. The food banks, I mean, all those organisations who've really stepped up. I've never seen anything like it. And I've been working in the community and voluntary sector for over 20 years, and I have never seen a response like this. It's been very humbling